The sound of water rushing underneath and the wind through tall grass greets Lilly's ears as her and the rusty raconteur emerge at the other end of the portal. They need to find the false Watchknight Desther, the traitor, and Fenthick too. And clearly, they're outside of the quarantine city for the first time in over a month. Beside the farmhouse, in front of them is presumably its owner, a dwarven farmer.
By Jiminy, how many of you are in there? You must be friends of good man Desther.
Of course, this is Bregan, a dwarf here by the farmhouse, the other end of the portal. I'm sure Lilly has some questions. Helm willing, I reckon you and I could wag our tongues all day. Yeah, he did mention Desther, but probably asking first what this place is. Why, this here's the road up to Helm's Hold, where all the priests live. There's no better lure than a Helmite, I say, because they'll always protect you in hard times. Neverwinter's in the other direction, at least it would be if good man Desther hadn't got me my ox, and, well, I probably shouldn't have said that. Sounds like it might be hard to convince, but trying to convince him anyway that Desther's a traitor to Neverwinter. By Jiminy, you're serious. Now, I told my wife there was something funny about good man Desther. When he left for Neverwinter, he had me and my ox tear down the bridge behind him. He said it was to protect me from plague bearers breaking quarantine. I'm wondering then, that might be the bridge itself. Why, that was a fine bridge, too. My father built it, and I'm the fool who tore it down. Toadstools. Jiminy, you can't even trust your neighbors these days. I'm not taking a chance on nobody no more. Do what you want, I'm leaving. Toadstools. How quaint. Though Lilly almost appreciates hearing the provincial phrase, reminding her how far they really are from the plague-struck city. Helm's Hold, where they are now, is less than a day's ride southeast of Neverwinter, outside the western edge of the Neverwinter Wood, though crossing a branch of the Neverwinter River to get here could prove difficult, as Desther's had the bridge torn down. Bregan and his wife are already gone. The Inquisitor General hadn't even finished with her questioning, and neither they with their cooking. Stewed rabbit by the smell of it. Bregan, like the other people here outside the Hold's walls, grows his own crops, herds his own cattle, draws water from a well dug deep by himself, and would likely give shelter to any passing travelers beset or weakened by brigands or monsters on the road. A hardy folk. Not that Lilly's impressed. Simpletons like Bregan just don't know any better. How easy life can and should be. On the chance that Bregan and his wife are still bridling the horses or packing the wagon with whatever paltry possessions they fancy valuable, the Inquisitor General decides to look inside the barn. Gone, unlike that awful smell of cow dung. Inquisitor General Black would interrogate the chickens even. If only she had Nyatar's scented fetish, but it appears all her gear did not safely make it through Desther's confounded portal. Imagine that. A traitor, brought to justice thanks to the loose beak of a clucking chicken. Its testimony corroborated by a bovine associate. Ridiculous. And not only did she lose the fetish, but her puce-colored Dahlia flower from the dusty diviner. Cause for a frown. Who knows what else they've lost? They're probably lucky they even made it through at all. Needless to say, Desther's portal was a teleportation with error. Though, she made it out of the quarantine city by teleportation after all. and she didn't even have to step into a Perfectone Mercantile shipping crate to do it. Luckily, Bregan had enough mind not to cut himself off from the hold. Another bridge over another branch of the Neverwinter River. Its heat from sources near Mount Hotenow causing an eerie mist to hang in the air. She appeared out of nowhere. A woman, though she appears odd. Her features impossible to discern. As if she were an illusion.
Yes, you come seeking the traitor, the bringer of disease. You are a fierce beacon of life amidst his undead. The walking corpses are a new addition, though the good people of the hold have been silent for some time. The false Helmites, they forced the good away, but now even they are not enough for Desther, and he creates a hasty army of dead.
Yeah, I guess I was wondering why Desther then is surrounding himself by undead. Though I think she's curious, probably more importantly, who he was working for.
I am not here for your questions. I give this insight of my own accord. If that is inadequate, walk away. Desther fortifies here because his role is nearly played out. He is abandoned. He has no bridges left to burn.
Alright, sounds like Desther has been used.
The dead are plentiful, so he surrounds himself with corpses. It won't be enough. His death is ordained and his life is forfeit.
Yeah, asking, well, really, who this visage is coming from.
I am not here to aid. I am not here at all. I speak so you know that none of this can be escaped. Desther has served his purpose and now tries to defy his fate. Neverwinter will learn to accept such things, even as you are allowed to take him. Remember well this lesson.
The visage disappears as swiftly as it had appeared. Fate? No such thing. Surely no one else but the Lady of Murder dictates her own destiny. Though the woman's word of Desther assembling an army of undead was concerning. What a time to be without her holy defender. Beyond the gate and the hold's courtyard are the strewn bodies of Helmites. Not false, but true servants of Helm, presumably slain by the cult upon their invasion of the monastery. And in the clutches of one of the dead priests is a gem, inscribed with a symbol of Helm, an open, staring eye on a war gauntlet. And beside it, or rather perhaps only in Lilly's mind, is the image of Helm himself, sweeping his enemies aside, and a pedestal upon which the gem is supposed to sit. Helm's hold, and clearly not the main entrance. On purpose, of course. Inquisitor General Black would rather not announce her arrival like a guest who's arrived for eveningfeast. And it sounds like rats, feeding on sacks of grain or worse things Little Red doesn't even want to imagine, in what appears to be a storeroom for the monastery. And zombies. At least Lilly thinks she can hear the moans from reanimated corpses. Desther's army of undead, no doubt, raised from the very priests slain here at Helm's Hold. It's a clever maneuver by the false Watchknight, abandoned to fend for himself, trapped like an unwanted dog out in the wild. Alright, sure enough, there's something in this room. A wraith. Okay. Just looks like a storage room. Well, don't want to get congested in the door. Hopefully, I guess the wraith will come out. Looks like a standoff. It's gonna no, it's casting something. Look at this. Skeleton mage. Alright. Rod of Frost. Oh boy. Alright, line of sight problems. There we go. Alright, finally Bones and the spider have realized what's going on. Can't really see what's going on. I think it's another... Oh, it's a skeleton priest. Look at that. Bones has succumbed to fear. It's way too close. Wraiths, incorporeal creatures born of evil and darkness that despise all living things, as well as the light, as they're utterly powerless in natural daylight. One of the only discernible features are the glowing red pinpoints of their eyes. Otherwise, the only other feature, though barely visible, is their grim silhouette. Sometimes they may appear armored or outfitted with weapons, but this only reflects the form they had in life. Those slain by a wraith rise again as a wight, enslaved to its incorporeal master until destroyed. Luckily, Bones isn't afraid of them, naturally, as their unnatural presence prevents most animals from approaching them. Well, it looks like a very similar situation. A wraith and a skeleton mage, and most likely a skeleton priest. Yeah, I think he's hiding behind one of the boxes. Alright. I think Bones is going to run for the mage. Hopefully the spider will follow. Don't want to get too close with the threat of level drain. Where's that spider coming in? There he goes. You know, I think they're immune to poison anyway. And skeletons, the animated bones of dead servants of Helm, mindless automatons obeying the orders of the false Watchknight. also with pinpoints of red light for eyes, smoldering in their empty eye sockets. Skeletons are actually supposed to be immune to cold damage, but oddly enough, the Aurora engine here doesn't implement this, as we saw Lilly's Rod of Frost inflicting damage. Otherwise, skeletons take only half damage from piercing and slashing weapons, which makes sense, I guess, as it's easier to bludgeon bone.